Hey y'all. So let's talk about BandLab on your phone. It is harder to use than the computer, but the sound is really good because it uses the mic inside your phone. The biggest downsides to BandLab on your phone are you can't zoom in and out, so it's hard for you to get a sense on the whole piece where you are. And it's kind of hard to find your spot because of that. And also because the other way to find it is by zipping around and looking at the sort of the ruler at the top, and that's really, really small. But you know, the mic in here is really good on your phone, and so it's worth looking into. So let's dive in. So we're gonna go to the folder with the music notes on it. I'm gonna tap on the bass. You guys will probably only have that. I have all of them, of course. And then we're going to tap on open. We are making a mix and not a video, so we'll tap on the mix editor. And after it loads, the first thing you're actually going to want to do is put it in airplane mode. You need to have it not in airplane mode so it can actually get the session from the internet. But then after that, undoubtedly you'll be in the middle of the perfect take, and then you'll get a message from somebody. So put it on airplane mode after that. I also find it much easier to use it in landscape rather than portrait. So you'll want to flip that too. So there are three views that BandLab in iOS and probably on Android use as well. And they are this mix editor view, which you can see is pretty analogous to the mix editor that we have on the computer. This is where you just see the audio files, and you can scroll up and see that there are tracks, even though if you can't see what they are yet. This has a ruler at the top. And unlike the computer, on the computer you would take this little playhead and move it back and forth. On your phone, what it does instead is it makes you scroll the whole audio like that. So that's how we get from place to place. And I think we're around 63. These numbers are so small. So get your reading glasses out. Yep, there it is. Okay, so that's the mix editor. This icon down here, these are supposed to be sort of volume faders. Tap them and that brings up all the controls. So this is really just like the computer version. You've got mute and solo, and the colors are very helpful here. Mute, if you mute it, it grays it out. If you solo a track, it grays out everything else. Volume and pan are just as they are on the computer. The pan knob, if you wanted to use it, tap it and move it up or down. And if you don't like where you've wound up, just double tap it and it goes back to center. So that's the mix, so we can turn that off there. Then we've got the mix editor, those track controls. There's a third view here called the record, that I'm calling, they don't call these anything, the record view, which is it focuses on a single track. So this only comes up when you tap the record button here. And see, now it's a single track and it's recording what I'm saying. So we're going to go into that in just a second, but I just wanted to give you an overview of all of that. I actually didn't want to record that, so I'm going to show you the very powerful undo button, which just takes that away. That's very, very useful. All right, I'm going to go back to the mix editor, and to do that, I'm not going to hit exit because that would make me leave the session. I'm going to press this button right there. See that little downward arrow? So the first thing I'm going to do as soon as I open up this session and as soon as I go on airplane mode, I'm going to tap the settings button because I need to do one thing every time I open this, and it's not the latency test. We don't need that here. What I am going to do is I'm going to tell it, hey, when I hit record, I want you to start 2 bars, or give me as much time as you can before you start recording. So if you saw what I did, I zipped down to the count in, and it's automatically defaults to off. I'm going to set it to 2 bars, okay? Go back to wave. This is back to the mix editor. All right, now I'm going to find my spot. And so it looks like it's around 62 or 63, and I can kind of go up here, and there's a little indentation there that's really tiny. So you can either look at the numbers up here, or if someone else has recorded, thank you, David, you can see, okay, someone else has audio there. This must be where I am. So we'll play a little bit just to confirm. That's exactly where I want to be. That's great. Okay, so I'll turn that back down. So, all right, I have found my spot. I am now going to set my mix. So because I'm on a speaker right now, so you guys can hear this, it's actually feeding back a little bit. I'm going to turn my track down. And because we're actually listening for timing and I'm trying to sync up with the guide tracks, I'm actually going to mute everybody else too. All right, so everybody's muted except these top guide tracks. Okay, so now I'm going to hit play, and now I'm going to adjust the mix. And I did a video about adjusting the mix. This is the same idea, it's just with these little controls instead of the controls on the web version of BandLab. So let's listen. And I'm trying to get a good balance of my guide track to my actual voice. So let's listen. I'm going to turn down the other parts a little. And turn up the bass part. The strangers I meet, it is possible to get back on our feet. I will. Okay, that feels pretty good. That's a good balance to me. So I'm going to zip back. I'm going to turn off the controls so I can see what I'm doing here. Zip back to right about there. Let's make sure that, see if I can see David's audio. Yep, that's where I am. Okay, I've set my mix. I can hear myself. I'm ready to go. So I'm going to click record. I'm going to tap record, and I'm going to sing along. Here we go. I will help the strangers I meet. I will help the strangers I meet. It is possible. All right, I messed that up. All right, so again, if you mess it up, you can click undo, and that would just let you start over. I think what I'm actually going to do, though, because I really like the first two phrases, I will help the strangers I meet, I will help the strangers I meet, I'm going to punch in. And what that means is I'm going to move it right to the beginning of the spot that I messed up at, like the really between phrases is the place to do that, and I'm going to click record again. The strangers I meet, it is possible to get back on our feet. I will help the strangers I meet. Then I tap stop there at the end. Now, for some reason, it did not give me 2 bars of count off. It just started recording 2 bars ahead of time. Oh, yes, it did. It blanked it out, but it did give me that count off. So let's listen to that whole thing. I will. So these controls, when you click the control window here, it pops up your controls for your own track. So that means if I need to hear myself a little more clearly, because I can't tell what I'm doing, I would just click that and then turn that up. I will help the strangers I meet. It is possible to get back on our feet. That's smooth. Okay, I've punched in this third phrase and everything worked great. So let's say I'm happy with it. I've listened to it and judged it to be great, or at least good. I'm going to click this little triangle up here again, which sends me back to the track view. The mix editor. And I'm done. So I'm just going to click send to the cloud. That's save. And I would ordinarily tap save. I'm not actually going to save it now. And that's that. So try it and good luck. Don't forget to turn airplane mode back off, by the way.